Our severe Weather Team 9 coverage continues with Channel 9's Nick Pampantonis, who joins us live in Seminole County. And Nick, a plumber gave you a checklist of things homeowners should do tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, Greg, you always hear about you should drip your faucets, you should cover your pipes. What does that actually mean? It means that every square inch of this setup right here should be covered before those temperatures drop on Saturday night. And that can be done with objects you already have laying around your house.
It can be as simple as taking a moving blanket or a towel, drape it over, tuck it in behind.
Tim Miller says it's not going to be the temperatures that will freeze a pipe, but the ice-cold wind. Miller, the owner of Green Frog Plumbing, says that's why he'll be in his yard Saturday morning, making sure every bit of exposed metal and plastic that holds water is covered by insulation, a towel, or both.
A lot of this foam also, it's not super temperature insulating. A lot of this can be for like UV and to keep the sun off of it as well. So I always recommend some extra towels.
He says that should be paired with a dripping faucet, the furthest faucet from your water main.
Even with the drip like that, because you got to think, you have 50, 60 pounds of pressure, constantly just moving a little bit. It's perfect. That's what we're gonna do.
We saw many people preparing at Lowe's in Oviedo, where associates say they have nightly trucks coming in with insulation and frost blankets.
Almost every shopping cart that goes out of here has gone out with some kind of pipe insulator to protect those pipes on the outside.
And if the worst happens, Miller says the only thing a homeowner can do is shut the water off to their home using their main shutoff valve and call a plumber.
There's no temporary repair when it comes to water. The pipe has to be cut and repaired properly.
You see that right there? That is the other end of the pool noodle that I am holding right now, at least the former pool noodle. Miller said pipes in your house and the walls, the attic, crawl spaces under the house, he's not that concerned about those right now because they have enough protection. But coming up at 5, we did talk about the one thing that he is most concerned about that he says most homeowners actually miss. You're going to hear a lot about how to protect that again the next hour. Live in Seminole County, Nick Pampantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Tom, we haven't seen anything like this since 2010 when we actually saw snow.
Oh, there's Tom Terry rules. I remember someone sending me that. But yeah, extremely cold weather. And this is one thing that made for this beautiful picture here, if you want to call it, I think, the ice glaciers here. But that was someone who turned on their sprinkler. But
you can see the water kind of spraying right here.
Yeah, so go ahead and turn your lawn sprinklers off. And go ahead and water them tonight or first thing tomorrow. And that'll let the soil get some moisture in it. It's going to make it easier for it to survive the extreme cold. But don't leave your sprinklers on all night or you're going to have a mess early in the morning.
We're going to have some pictures for folks probably this weekend, too.
Yeah, and we're going to have information in this half hour about how to send your pictures here. We're going to have some epic shots. Unfortunately, we're going to have a lot of damage as well. Here's what it looks like right now. And again, our weather alert day, weekend and Monday, the trifecta. So this is kind of your roadmap for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the change. Before noon, you really won't notice much difference. Still relatively mild. A little bit of early rainfall. We'll time that out for you in just a minute. With future track, then from 1 to about 6, this is when things start happening. The cold air will start to arrive. The winds are really going to start gusting. Then after 6, the freeze starts to set in, especially closer to 10, 11 o'clock. And this is 2:30 tomorrow. Look at the wind gusts. That is going to be a big difference maker, and especially early Sunday when temperatures are in the mid-20s, a wind of about 20 to 25. That's going to really drop those wind chills. In fact, by 11 o'clock tomorrow, 18 on the wind chill and still dropping. We'll take you hour by hour and talk snow too, Greg, coming up.
All right, we talked about it at the beginning. Pets, pipes, plants. Those are the big things to watch out for, not to mention people as this weather gets bitterly cold. We start with your pipes and protecting your home because if something goes wrong, it could be really costly, plus very messy, and you have to wait for a plumber, have to get the repairs. It can be a nightmare. Our live Severe Weather Team 9 coverage continues with Nick Pampantonis in Seminole County. And Nick, in the last hour, you showed us how much insulation those outdoor pipes need, and a plumber has shown you how many people miss some of those pipes.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, we're going to show you that covering in a moment. But this is what we want to focus on here in this half hour. This device right in the middle of these tanks is an irrigation backflow preventer. It's made of brass. You have one if you have an irrigation system. You might have one for your regular water as well. The plumber says people often miss this, and this, because it's made of metal, often is the first to freeze and burst.
It's very important that you wrap these heavily. Not just for your irrigation, but places like Altamont Springs and whatnot have backflow devices for their potable water systems.
Tim Miller says if you have one of these brass backflow preventers on the side or front of your home, pay extra attention to it as you go through taping or zip tying insulation or towels over every exposed pipe and faucet. Associates at Lowe's got one of the devices for us. It costs more than $200.
When you drive around town after a storm, you see the backflow preventers just leaking water, gushing out of the top of that backflow preventer.
This will wrap it tight.
We saw customers grabbing insulation packs for those preventers after they were reminded about the need to protect them. For those or any pipe or faucet, Miller says it doesn't matter what you use. It's important a barrier is placed between that pipe and the wind, which will cause the pipe to freeze a lot faster.
Wrapping them works really, really well.
In addition to turning your irrigation off and disconnecting your hoses, Miller said the other key thing to remember is to drip the faucet furthest from your water main overnight.
A small stream of hot and cold, or even if you can get it to do a small drip like that, is plenty.
So if something goes wrong, this is your water main shutoff valve here. Know where it is. Make sure it works ahead of time. He says if anything goes wrong, you need to kill the water to your home. Don't try to DIY a repair. It's just not going to work. He did add that anything inside the walls, attic, crawl space, he's not too worried about those pipes because they are protected. Live in Seminole County, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Nick, great stuff there. We also looked at what you need to do if a pipe does burst or you have other damage. The Hilb Group of Florida says first you should shut off your water valve to make sure nothing floods, document the damage, and take pictures before cleanup. Call a plumber to start the repair process and then call your insurance company to file a claim. But again, you need to begin the cleanup yourself. So let's talk about protecting your pets in the cold. Shelters across our area have put out calls for people to make sure their pets are indoors this weekend. If they go out, make sure to keep track of them and bring them inside as soon as possible. They too could succumb to these very, very cold wind chills. You may want to cover up your dog's paws as well. And if you drive somewhere, check under your car for any stray animals that may be taking shelter from the cold. And on occasion, we even have cats under people's hoods to stay warm. Animal shelters in Central Florida have been preparing for this cold for weeks. Shelter workers in Orange and Brevard counties telling us they have special heated kennels for the dogs and cats. Lake County told us they are adjusting their routines and limiting the amount of time that dogs spend outdoors. They go out, do their business, and back in. In Seminole County, Pet Alliance got started early. They asked for blankets and towels 2 weeks ago and sent some adorable pictures of how your donations are being used. Yeah, that is awesome.